Alright, so the dream we ended up getting is to become Miss World. So the challenge, our target audience was 7-year-old girls, which we are obviously not. So we started off with, I'll start off with the story actually. We started off, you begin as a little girl, you go to a pageant with your family, they take you there. You end up seeing the winner, and you idolize that winner. You're like, I want to be her one day. So your whole goal within the game is to become that idol. In the beginning, you go through the stages of becoming an idol, and you go to a pageant. There at that pageant, you then lose. It's part of the story. You lose to a rival, but you carry that rival throughout the rest of the game. So you constantly have someone you're trying to compete with. In the middle of the game, partway through, you start to draw on your own, you're making money doing different various jobs. And to do other jobs, and you also get money from pageants, and you collect rewards from pageants as well for doing successful different mini-games throughout the game. You also build relations with agents and other people that you end up becoming friends with, especially your parents. You can build relations with them as well. And all your decisions you create throughout the story alter the story. Near the ending, you start to get trained by your idol because you've gotten to that Miss World step in the game. And you end up going into a kind of a competition with your rival at the very end, and you end up either overcoming her or end up failing and you end up having to try it over again. Then afterwards you continue to take your mentor's spot, which is the idol that you've gotten to, and you continue to mentor other people. And now, let's go with the mechanics. The setting usually takes place in your home or town, which you go on to pageants as well, and your job. And the gameplay is very mini-game oriented, where everything is a different mini-game with your job, the pageants you do, the practicing and the training. The camera model is very third person, but it also changes whenever you do different mini-games. But when you're in your home, it's very third person, and when you are off on the streets, it's very isometrical, which you can see at the very top. This is you whenever you're out in the streets going to different stores. You have your basic top HUD, which is the location in the city that you're in, the amount of money you have, your happiness meter. And your happiness meter is based on the amount of goods that you have, the different clothes and accessories you have for your character. It's also based on what you eat. It's very based on what you eat, and your fame. And now, to build more fame, you go through, you end up winning pageants, you go in different random events, such as music videos, because you get your agent that hooks you up with other people to do different mini games. The challenge the player will face is just going through the motions of someone in that pageant industry. To manage your money and to make sure your character stays happy throughout the game, because if your character's not happy, she's going to start to fall behind in pageants, and her work as well, and things are just going to start collapsing. So the internal economy, what we have is the money, the happiness, the collectibles, the fame, and a score. For the money, you do your part-time job and you win pageants, which also helps increase your happiness. And if you overwork yourself, your happiness goes down because you're always tired. But with the money, you buy different collectibles, and you can also with the collectibles you get from purchasing at different stores that you can see within the village. And we have a few concept arts of accessories and different collectibles you can get, like the tiaras, the necklace, and these are other concept arts of your character in-game that you can customize with your clothing. And then over there you have a concept art of an agent and a parent, your mother. But back to the internal economy, so you have your money, which is you get from training, winning pageants, and leisure activities, which then you spend to buy clothes, food, and to enter pageants. Your happiness is based on spending money, having pets, building relations with people. Then you get collectibles, which you get again by spending money, and just random events of your parents dropping by the house to give you a gift just because they've missed you or you're doing really well. They're proud of you. And the fame is from pageants and special events, as I stated before, which allows you to unlock other things. And the more pageants you win in that division locally, it will then push you on to Miss America, and you'll go on from there to Miss World. And there's also a score, which is, you get a score for how well you do within that pageant. And there's also an online leaderboard system where you'll see how well other people are doing within the game. And there's also kind of a difficulty setting where you pick different settings where the easier it is to get money, the easier it is to get happiness, and so on and so forth. It just follows. There is no really loss. If you lose, you just kind of start. You don't fall behind. You just have to redo that next time. So there's no real huge loss if you don't win that challenge or that mini game. The control-wise, everything's very motion censored. So we're taking advantage of the PlayStation Move, Connect, and the Wii remotes to get children more active, because we've noticed that a lot of younger girls or even younger kids in general like to be very active, and they have a very short attention span when it comes to playing a game. So the motion allows them to get active and allows their parents to be really happy that they're jumping and moving around. So let's go on to the different interfaces that we have for the game. As I said before, you'll see the primary gameplay mode, which you're in the city, going around to different shops, purchasing different items. You'll have different stores. Here you're in your home, just walking around and be in a third-person view in your home, interacting with your animals, different people that visit your house. Down here, this is one of the mini games where you're either doing a sing-along, the sort of thing using the Connect motion sensor that senses your voice. And then there's your character customization, where you have your face, your hair, your eyes, skin, height, size, makeup, all that. You can customize your own name. And there are preset faces, but you can also add more to that with the various options. And I believe that's everything.
Tell us a little more about the atomic challenges associated with the mini games, because you spent a lot of time talking about the internal economy, and I understand that pretty clearly. But on a sort of a moment-by-moment basis, you know, if I'm playing this game, sort of not the shopping, but the things that earn me fame, what do I physically do? And what is the game detecting and rewarding in these mini games?
Well, in these mini games, you'll be doing different physical activities or like collecting different things within the game, within the pageants. And then for your job, you'll be getting money, which allows you, like doing a waitress job, you'll be able to balance. You'll be balancing plates, kind of walking forward, like bringing plates from a table, bringing them back to the bag.
Okay. Okay, yeah, because I was wondering about these jobs, because you didn't say much about that. So,
so a lot of it is very motion oriented because we want to take advantage of that and keep kids active.
right. Okay.
And if I might add, later on through the game, you meet up with an agent, and to further increase your fame, you get these options to go on to special events, like say doing a film or doing a photo shoot, which allows you to increase fame and gives you pay instead of doing something you would otherwise do, like training for the
Okay.
next event.
Yeah, you mentioned music videos.
Yeah.
So there's an opportunity for dance
Yeah.
activity there.
So again, the whole focus of that was just to keep them active because of the attention span.
Yeah.
To get them going.
Yeah. And then during the pageant itself, I mean, the actual physical activity in a pageant is pretty limited. I understand, although I don't know personally, that it's quite difficult to walk downstairs in high heels. And you could have
Yeah.
that kind of thing as well.
It's got, like, we're kind of geared towards the talent aspect of the pageant, where every participant has to have a talent of some sort.
Right.
Where yours can be doing different things, and sometimes the judges will throw a random activity like, oh, you have to do this now, like collect these stars, and you have to like move your hand around to collect the stars before they disappear on the screen.
Oh, okay. So, right. So it's actually somewhat abstract. I mean,
Yes.
so you can have non-realistic challenges like, you know, reaching and collecting stuff. Got it. Okay, because I didn't know that. I was envisioning this as a more realistic style game.
So everything's very cartoony within the game.
Got
It is meant for the demographic of the city.
Okay. Any other questions?
Are you able to choose?
That's the thing. You start off in a small village, like a small little town, which you then venture off to, and then you bounce from different cities. So you go from city to city as you advance in pageants.
So it's everything is American.
Yeah, which is exactly the topic of this world.
You touched on the topic of food, and you said, well, you can choose which food you buy, and that gives you more fame or whatnot. If you eat only chips all the time, do you get fat?
Within the game, I should have probably touched upon that, is the food thing. Good, healthy food costs more money. And the more money you spend on clothes and accessories, the less money you spend on good food, and the less good food you eat, like more unhappy you become. And your happiness meter is a very big meter that weighs on how you do in pageants and how happy. Like if your person isn't happy and
So you
unhealthy.
completely skip the weight portion of
Yeah.
what you're eating, and just on
Yeah.
the chips.
Yeah, it's just the unhappy portion of it. It's not the we skip the good portion of it.
No one's happy.
Yeah, I mean, you can show them.
Hey. Go ahead.
Basically, that would be probably a lot of criticism coming out of that, saying that you can't be happy if you're eating junk food. Especially if you already gave them the option to adjust their size limits, why would they be allowed to eat whatever and still be happy?
It's mainly focused on just, like, if you eat a lot of junk food, you constantly junk food, you're gonna start feeling really bad about yourself, because that's a lot of junk food you're consuming, you're not eating anything healthy, your body's gonna start to feel groggy, so it's kind of like the side portion of that. So if you're eating healthy, you're gonna be happy, you're more energetic, more willing.
This seems actually to me like an ideal opportunity for a trade-off. Because junk food certainly makes me feel happy short-term. You know, the problem is long-term. Right? So it's like, yeah, pizza tonight, you know, and then, okay, it's been pizza 14 nights in a row, and now I don't feel so great. So, you know, you could build in some sophisticated trade-offs that the player, you know, wants to increase their happiness on a short-term basis, you know, or something like that.
Yeah.
One more question, and then we got to wrap it up.
You mentioned parents like giving you presents when you're happy and supporting you when you're happy. What do they do when you're sad or unhappy? Does it try to like change your dreams? Or you know, you're like you've been doing this for 10 years, but it's not happening.
Well, it's like sometimes, like, throughout the game, your parents randomly show up and either offer you, like, give you food for your character, so you don't have to spend the money on food for that in a short period of time. But yeah, they don't only come when you're happy. Like, even when you're down, it's a random event that happens within the game, like other random events where your friends will come over, your agent will come over, things like that.
There is a way to let you recover maybe from an escape, right?
Yeah.
You bring
Yeah.
show up and help you out.
Yeah, like if you end
Yeah.
up putting too much money into one thing, they end up giving you some like food to work with. Yeah.
Thank you.